with my heat pad.
All right. All right. Good afternoon, Miss McIntosh. I'm going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about some data for the Sneads High School Social Science Department. We have two assessments that happen annually. The first, the most important test that we see is the U.S. History EOC assessment. And then the second important test, that the new one that just came out a couple years ago, we've only done this test 2 years, is the Florida Civics Literacy exam. That one currently has very limited data, only because it's kind of new. But we're going to take a look at both of those data because we need to make some changes in the department in order to get our numbers up, because right now they're super low. So I'm going to share my screen with you and let you look at this data. So give me a second while I do that. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. So what you're looking at right now, Miss McIntosh, can you see my screen? Okay.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So what you're looking at right now is the overall assessment results for Jackson County for the Florida civic literacy exam. Um, the school sends these to the individual teachers. So I don't have access to that particular data right at this moment. But I can get you that, because right now that we only have at Sneads High School, we have two teachers that teach US government. This Florida Civics Literacy exam is given to students who were registered or are taking a US government course. Now, I did talk with that teacher, and she did tell me that our numbers are super low. And I think we had 70 kids tested. Our numbers fell well below the average for the state. The state average right now is 37%, and that is can be found on this first page here at the top row here. You can see that the pass rate for the entire state of Florida was at 37%. Now, I highlighted right here our scores for Jackson County. Jackson County tested 400 kids. Of that 400 kids, we had a very low percentage pass, which is at the state average at 37%, which is well below 50%, well below our 60% goal, and definitely well below our vision statement and mission statement of 100% student success. And if, like I said, if I'm not mistaken, we tested at our school, somewhere around 70 kids of that 400 for the county. So can't give you the exact number of kids or the exact percentage of kids who passed, but just looking at that 37%, not good for Jackson County. Um, Now the next data I'm going to show you is actually data for the U.S. History EOC for last year. This data is we get this as the at the end. Every student who was in a U.S. history course takes this EOC exam. It is worth 30% of their grade. Um, it is not a pass or fail. It is the only requirement for the kids is that they take the test. They don't have to necessarily pass it in order to graduate. Although we do encourage them to do their best. The kids know and the parents know that passing, which is considered getting a level 3 or higher, just like any other FSA, um, eh, passing is not necessarily a priority for them. And if you look at our results here, I actually kind of condensed this chart because with Sneads being an S, it's at the very end of this report. So our state average here, and we'll look at the state average for this is a 65. I'm sorry. The mean score is a 407. Our mean score at our school is a 401, and that is a scaled score. It's not a you get 1 point for every question kind of score. Some questions are weighted. more than others. And then you have the percentage of students who are actually at a level 3, which would be considered passing if it was a pass or fail test. And our state average is 65. Our school average is 58. Now, I can say in the last 5 years that Sneads High School has carried the county. With 3 of the last 5 years, we have led the county with our percentage of passing. This year actually is super low. The 2021-22 school term was super low. And I think a lot of that came from we had a temporary teacher in that class for half of that year. So the 2021-22 school term, we didn't even have a structured and certified U.S. history teacher in that class. And for us to still pull out a 58% was amazing. Now, if you're looking at the next three numbers here, the next five numbers, the 17, the 26, the 31, the 14, and the 12, these are the number of students who actually scored at each level on that. So we have level 1, achievement level 1. Those are our very low, super low performing students. We had 17 of those. And then we had level 2s, which are just above the level 1s, but still below passing. Now, if you're looking at level 3s, this is the chunk of it, the meat. These are the kids that at least know a little enough to pass the test. And then, of course, the 14 and the 12, those are our exceptional, above average and extremely above average students that are passing. So we still have a significant number. If I'm not mistaken, this class there were 90 kids in this class that took the test. And that includes both, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. We had 10th, 11th, and 12th graders taking the exam that year, 2021, 22. So out of 90 kids, we had more than 50% of those passing, slightly above 50%. Still not the 100% aim that we aimed for, but a lot more than the previous year, because the previous year was actually a COVID year, and they didn't even take the test. One other thing that I would like to show here before we wrap up our data discussion, if I could find it, because I guess I took it away with it. Oh, Lordy. All right, give me a second. Let me close out of some things. Okay, this is our data from the previous years, from the same test. I'm going to try to zoom out here a little bit. Notice that we have 22, 20, 19. This 2021, that is probably from Grand Ridge. And I'm gonna try to slide over here because this thing is not doing what I wanted to do. Sorry. All right, we're gonna scrap this idea if I can't get it to move over. Yeah, let me go ahead and let me take Fairmage out of here. Excuse me while I get my data back together, because apparently I am not doing well with navigating. All right, this website is actually a DOE website, and it allows us to take a look at data on a larger scale. But here again, let me show you the data that represents. Oh, okay. I'm gonna scrap that idea. This website, the data shows the trends for the last 5 years, and there is a dip in the trend. We are trending down. We are hopefully, with the data from this year, we will see an increase. But I can't show that to you because I don't have it, and it's really upsetting me that this is not working to my advantage right now. And it's really just computer stuff. All right. Gonna try one more time before I give up. So, number of students taking the exam, we had 81 take the exam in 2021. Notice that that's a slight difference between the 90 that we had take it 2 years prior, in the 21-22, and not the 3. I think I'm getting my dates wrong. But for the most part, um, we have several I'm going to skip over here to level 3. Notice we have 20, then we have 29, and then we have 27. So for the last 3 school terms, we've had a dip, 27, 29, and then we have a 20, a really big dip from 29 and 27 to 20. So with this information, the recommendation or what we're doing in the department is, one, we're going to split up the US history, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can see my face again. All right. So with this information, what we're going to do is we're going to our plan is to split up the US government class. Instead of it just being one teacher teaching that, we're going to split that between the department. We're also going to put some stipulations on the test. Currently, the school board and the state of Florida does not mandate that the FCLE be a part of the student's grade. However, I think that incentivizes, as a department, we've decided that it incentivizes the students to kind of do better on the test. When I talked with the teacher that did give that was the U.S. government teacher, she said that a lot of the kids were they just took it and they didn't do their best because they knew it wasn't a part of their grade. So putting that stipulations as a part of their grade, whether it be one test grade or something like that, to weight in that grade, will incentivize the students to do better on the test. Splitting the students up makes the class sizes smaller, and we can attend to the students better, especially those lower performing students, the ones that are both that were low performing in US history the prior year. In that U.S. history class, we can see from the U.S. history data, there were several lower performing level 1s and level 2s, who are going to transition into that U.S. government class their senior year and will be required to take that FCLE test. And so we can tackle those low performing students and give them more individualized attention so that they are prepared, because of the gap between the 7th grade civics course and the senior civics course. That's a 5-year gap in which they are not receiving any direct civic instruction. They are receiving some instruction in the US history class in their 11th grade year, but it's not intensive. It's not specifically designated for civics. So in order to scaffold that and close that gap between the 7th grade civics and the senior year civics, we're going to split those up, get those lower performing kids back up, building that knowledge up, and kind of working that out through between the department, as opposed to having that fall on just one teacher. Is there any questions or recommendations that you see that we can add, other than those 3 steps to kind of get these to get us back on top of being the top performing school in the county when it comes to social studies?
I think dividing and conquering the responsibilities takes the pressure off of one teacher. So I think that that's the best option for y'all to do.
All right, perfect. Thank you.